Hey everybody, it's me again, Chris Parkinson, and Tyler's going to be joining me shortly down here. We're going to kick off the stream here in just a minute. Make sure I'm at the channel so I can respond to anything you guys have real quick. And I'll kick off some music here too. What is she? That should be good. Alright, so once a few people join here, I'm going to go ahead and I'll go over what we did last week. Not a whole lot, but I tweaked a bunch of stuff and it's looking really, really good. So actually what I'm going to start out doing here is setting up a new level. I actually got to create a method last time called Sack Up, so that was kind of fun. It's a really, really simple one, but since that's on there. So I actually upgraded to Unity 5 too, and it's pretty awesome so far. One thing it did mess up for me was my my layers that I had set up originally, so I have to fix those again. But I'm not going to waste everybody's time doing that. So if things look a little bit off, that might be the reason why. So for Gray, I'm actually going to go ahead and get rid of his submeshes and just turn his mesh renderer back on so we can see where he's at. Okay, that's good for him. And just so it doesn't drive me crazy the whole time, I'm going to go ahead and just toss a component on him real quick called Sorting Layer Exposed. And basically all this is going to do is make sure that he's on the right layer. Yeah, so he's on the midground layer. So before, like, to give you an idea, like, the other version of Unity would have had this sorting layer ID set to 5, so it was easy to remember. Now, for whatever reason, when I upgraded Unity 5, it's sorting layer 684989807, so really confusing compared to how it was, but you get a lot of benefits with Unity 5 too, because we'll be able to use a bunch of like awesome cameras, a lot of cool camera effects, shadows, lights, shaders, like a bunch of stuff that is generally reserved for like pro features. So let's start it here. I wonder if they actually let us do the dark like layout too, or if that's still exclusive, because that'd be kind of interesting. Packer disabled. Maybe it's not on there. Maybe it's not project settings or something. Preferences maybe. There's a play mode tint. Aw, editor skin still set to personal. Yeah, well, I do need to change my color back though, so I actually know when I'm in play mode. Because it sets it from like a light gray to a slightly darker gray, and that's really confusing for me. So I'm gonna do like, I don't know, maybe we'll do like a blue this time. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask as we go along here. Mainly what I'm going to be doing today is setting up more of like a final like demo area. So we'll set up some things to kind of imply how features would work for users who are new to the game without having like a bunch of tutorial things pop up all the time. So let me see how we're going to do that. Instead of actually starting a new scene, I might go ahead and duplicate this scene and just switch some stuff around. So let's do that first. It's a demo level. This will be pre-alpha. So we'll load this up, and that way if I have to come back to my demo scene, I can really easily without screwing anything up. I actually loaded up really quickly. I did notice a little bit of like a performance increase and stuff like that too with the new version of Unity. So if you guys are considering that, like, or considering getting into game development, Unity 5, the personal version is free and comes with like all of the features from the editor that you used to have to pay for. So it's really nice. Also, Unreal Engine just came out for free too. So if you guys are interested in that engine, it's incredibly easier than it used to be to get into. Alright, so I think, let me try and find like a simple terrain object. Obviously that one's not very simple. But let's get that one out of the way so I can see what I'm doing here a little bit. One thing I'm going to do is go ahead and hide the background items. So I'll probably end up redoing these items here in a little bit anyway. So you can see a lot of work was actually put into the original one, but I'd like it to be a lot different than what it is, so we'll switch that stuff around here. So the main layer we need right now is this mid-ground layer, and the cave floor stuff. The cave floor could actually be in the mid-ground if I wanted it to be. So, let's see, this is actually like a decent chunk to start with. And the nice thing about this is that I don't really have to start at like the coordinate 0, 0 or anything like that. I can just kind of kick it off wherever I want to. So we're going to start out here tonight. Let's set up our own little level. As soon as Unity decides to stop being a jerk and let me do stuff. There we go. And as usual, we're going to do some spastic saving too, just so I don't lose everything here. So first thing I normally do is just create a new cave floor, and I need to make sure that I bring out Sir Gray. So he's over here. What's up, Ty?
Hey.
I made room for you on the camera, but we kind of have to squeeze together.
I'm okay. People can just enjoy my sexy shoulder.
I could be here.
Like this.
And there you go. Perfect.
Well, when I have to look at whatever you're doing, that'll work. Looks terrible thus far.
Yeah, I know. This is the new level right here. But then we just test real quick and make sure that, you know, he actually lands where he's supposed to land and stuff. Yeah, so you should be able to run around this little piece of terrain that we set up for him. A couple of things we did change. We changed it so that you can't like run and just like continuously attack like as you're moving. We might put in like a run attack or something later. But right now it's going to make you actually pause, because it kind of found that you could kind of just spam your way, like spam the attack button as you moved everywhere you went and just kind of kill everything. So just trying to balance out the gameplay a little bit more. We also fixed the crack when you smack the ground, so it's a little bit more realistic looking. But yeah, lots of stuff so far. Okay, so I know for sure one of the first things I want is the doorway right here behind Gray, so we're going to grab that. So here I actually have an object set up just called left wall, so we're going to use that guy. This might be easier. And what I found with the original level, like we passed it around to some people to to kind of test things out. And when we did that, like, it was really confusing for them, like, if they could go down in these pits, if these pits were going to kill them, like, all this kind of stuff. So I'm just going to make it, like, really obvious, more of, like, a left to right, like, level versus what we had before.
There can't be anything too close to that beginning part either.
What's that?
There can't be anything too close to that beginning
Why not?
piece. Because it's just a square. You don't want stuff, like, fading in, like parallaxing behind that black square, because then it looks weird.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. I still need to make the snowy bit.
Doctor Who, Sir Gray doesn't endorse doing crack or anything like that. But
What?
he cracks the ground though.
Oh.
He endorses cracks when he's slamming them into the ground. Yeah, so I almost need that to like fade to black more or something like that.
Yeah. It does need to fade to black more.
Alright, I'm gonna keep that later.
You want me to do like a snow or anything like that for that?
I thought we were going to do like a bridge thing, like collapsing or something like that. I kind of leave a space for that.
Oh, for the bridge?
Yeah. We don't have to do that for the demo thing. So probably what I'll start out with doing is just some simple parallaxing in the beginning, and then we'll lead that to a bridge, so you can cross the bridge. And then we're going to go ahead and teach people like wall jumping right off the bat, just because it's kind of an advanced mechanic for a lot of people. So I think the parallaxing will be fine like up to that point. And grab a bridge. Not sure I really care how much like this stuff looks like down here right now, because I don't think we're going to be wrapping around back under anything yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that should be fine. So I'm going to grab this bridge. And that's the really nice thing about like doing games in Unity, guys, because you can really just create these objects, and once you have the objects, you can just build whatever level you want to and just make it look really freaking cool. And it gets a little bit tedious because you gotta like make sure the placement's like perfect for a lot of stuff, so you don't end up with overlapping things. But I think generally when you're doing a game and you had like a bigger team, you'd have like a level designer or something like that who actually comes in and does the stuff after you create the objects. Someday. Alright. Alright, so let's create our wall jump area. So let me just duplicate this guy. Let's see, move from the position here. I'm going to straighten it out a little bit. Cool. That should work. Let me make sure it's okay. And then I don't want this piece to be like nearly as long either, so let me adjust that too. So probably delete some points here. Which one was it? There we go. So maybe about that far, and then I kind of want it to go up from there. One thing that's kind of hard to judge is actually how like big these areas are compared to gray. So again, we're just going to have to test that out a little bit. Let's bring gray over. I kind of wonder if a lot of people like look at the game and they think it's like some kind of limbo game or something like that at first, because of how dark everything is before you actually test it. So I kind of want him to jump, but just like barely not be able to make it to the top of that. Let's see if that's too high for him real quick. Oh, he can just make it over the lip of that. Because what I want to happen is I want the player to run up like, oh, okay, I'll just jump up there, go to jump, and then not be able to make it to the top, and just get that sliding effect instead. That might actually be perfect right there. Nope, maybe not. She can still get up there. Okay. Let's make sure it's about that point. actually about twice as tall as I thought it needed to be. There we go.
Yeah, I just have to put those end caps on everything.
Yeah.
See what they look like. What are you doing?
Just testing to make sure that, you know, our player's not going to be able to, like, jump up there. So they'll have no choice but to jump and then...
Oh, and jump off another piece?
Yeah, because I figure I'll make it easy right here and then maybe hide, like, an Easter egg or something at the top if they continue, like, doing a wall jump.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, let's do that real quick. Oh, take on it. I'm not doing gameplay mode for that. I think that'll be alright.
Yeah, I think it's kind of nice when you have the ceiling a little bit closer.
Now so they can actually see a little bit.
Yeah, and then we can have like other areas a little bit more open.
It's frustrating sometimes when that freaking cursor's right there and you're trying to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna bring this actually over a little bit. I don't want it to be like covering up all of it. I might do it like when you get past the bridge or something like that. You'll be able to see stalactites and stuff coming down. I guess that end isn't really gonna matter. Yeah, no grab yet. We actually talked about that a little bit too.
Log you out.
Yeah, I don't know what it did. Oh my gosh, come on. Freaking chat.
Yeah, your chat disappeared.
Yeah, there's no grab yet, but we've talked about doing one. I'm not sure if we will still yet, just because the wall side works so good.
Grab for what?
I don't really remember if we can get rid of points on these things.
Yeah, I was gonna say that would help quite a bit.
Yeah, I don't remember. I could have swore it was like shift something.
It's adding a point.
Thought it was this, but it's not. Scale, override, no. No, well. Figure it out later. And kind of bring down some stuff a little bit. And we'll see if you're able to actually see those as gray runs by right there. Yeah, so we're able to like just see the stalactites coming down. I'm gonna move that corner up too, so they just kind of like drift down, like more like you're coming into a big underhang thing. And you'll jump up here. I have to bring down the edge a little bit too. That lip. That's right now you can do it, but it's just like barely.
Should have like a nice jaggedy kind of like path down through.
Jaggedy path through.
Like a path that comes down, but it's more like kind of like a crazy. So you have to like wall jump up and put enemies on the side and add the spikes in and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, this seems to come down just a little bit. Not over there. Alright, so that's gonna be an area you can't get out. Okay. Let's see how that looks real quick. There we go. So it's much easier. Hopefully that'll help explain stuff to players that they need to jump up that way. Cool, cool. Make sure you can't wall jump anywhere else. Yeah, looking good. Alright, let me real quick, I just want to show you guys kind of what we covered last week since we have a few people viewing right now. Let me show you guys what we got through. So I'm going to bring Gray over to the old demo area. And most of the stuff, at least for what we did last time, should be over here. Maybe except that, okay, there's a treasure chest. Okay, so I'll show you guys the treasure chest real quick, because that one is right here. My dog will shut up upstairs. That's cool.
The new Uncharted.
Oh, yeah? Mm-hmm. So we got new food items and stuff like that too. So there was a mushroom I just picked up, and then I made the hit area for the treasure chest a little bit different, so that way you actually have to be standing in front of it, and you can't be like on top of it and open it up. So that wouldn't make any sense. And then when you open it, I made it so all the stuff pops out. That little coin bag pops down on the side right there too. So yeah, actually a scoring system involved now, which is pretty cool. And then my personal favorite. Make sure there's some goblins up here. Okay. Is now when you kill enemies, they all have bones and stuff like that. Is there a dog in the game? There's a dog in the game right now. He's gonna get put outside here in a second. Oh my gosh. But yeah, now when you kill enemies, they burst into like bones and stuff like that kind of roll around. So pretty cool. And these are persistent bones, so like these will never go away. So if you're fighting like a gigantic horde of enemies, you can end up in a gigantic pile of bones, which I think will be pretty cool. So that's the goblin bones right there. We did the bat bones too. And there's an ogre down here I could take out real quick and show you what his bones look like. Kill this guy. Ugh. Yeah, so he explodes and he has like a much larger like skeleton, so you got like a skull and ribcage and stuff like that. So that's a little bit more fun. You want to put Chewie out?
Yeah, I'm going to.
Alright, so back over to the level design. You guys also might have noticed too that when I get like hit now, we have there's like a red box that like goes around the screen. And with like Unity's new UI stuff, it was really easy to implement that and make it actually stretch. So no matter what the screen orientation is, it'll adjust itself. And those bones. So we wanted a cool like explosion similar to like Wind Waker and stuff like that, but we wanted make it just a little bit darker, so we added the bones back in there. And if anyone's interested to see how that's like scripted or anything like that, I can show you that, but right now I'm going to move on to designing this level a little bit. It's funny because I know a lot of our goal has been to like kind of look like Rayman Legends and stuff like that, or not like look like them, but to kind of have like a similar play style, like just being able to jump through and stuff like that. But one of the things we found, like just even watching some of Ubisoft's videos of how they did Rayman, is that they would design their levels like for playability first and just kind of like lay everything out, and then sorry, it's hard to do this and talk at the same time. But yeah, then they would actually have like the designers come in, like the people who actually make things look pretty, and they would just give them like an absolute ton of assets and just let them go crazy on it. So Rayman like doesn't even look that pretty until like the level designers get a hold of it, and they make it look absolutely gorgeous. So it's just crazy. So I'm gonna hide a bit of an Easter egg up here. We don't have all these crazy points. I know there's a way to delete these stupid things. There we go. And I'll probably modify some of these chunks and stuff a little bit later, just because they're gonna be like kind of annoying the way they're shaped right now. So far I just can't delete them because I wasn't close enough. I think for now I'm going to put the dinosaur up there. Make sure I grab him correctly. Jeez, a lot bigger than I remembered it being. Back in there a little bit. Let's make sure I can interact with that guy. If I can actually get up there. There we go. That worked out pretty good. Yeah, you can see that edge poking out, which I do not like at all. I have to fix that real quick. Yeah, that's kind of really bugged me. And I might go ahead and make this like dip a little bit bigger just so I could hide something else back in there. I might try to do a little bit more live streaming too, as far as like when it comes to creating the level stuff, because it does take a while, and I mean it's not like I'm gonna be doing anything like extremely difficult, at least not from a coding perspective. It's more just about like placement, making sure things look okay where they're at. Maybe even a little bit deeper than that. Oh, that's what I meant, this freaking transform getting right in my way. Okay. Okay, that should do it nicely right there. I'm gonna hide the dinosaur up there right now.
Okay. What?
Doctor Who doesn't like the music. I agree, I don't like it either. You take a vote. I'll turn it down. Is that better? I don't think it's even audible.
I don't care. You
Oh,
know how
right
I
there it
feel
is.
about music.
Yeah, I know. Just so you guys know, like, Tyler and I know absolutely nothing about music. What's good and what's not. So if you ever need an opinion, don't come asking us. But Twitch does provide, like, music that's free and that we won't get sued over, so that's what we play. But yeah, I admit it sucks. I think it had, like, some kind of dolphin noise or something once.
That one was awesome.
That was my favorite, yeah. That's how much I know about music. You throw some dolphin noises in there, and I'm like, hey, it's pretty cool. Okay, so one thing I think I'm going to want at this point, too, is some kind of light recharge station, because the light will be getting kind of dim at this point. So we might put one kind of here in like a rest area before we introduce enemies. Yeah, that'd be cool. that was another thing about this level that didn't really make any sense, is that you have these like light charge stations, but they're underground, so it didn't make a tremendous amount of sense.
It makes all the sense in the world.
It's Tyler's idea.
There's holes in the ceiling. You just can't put stuff above them.
Well, yeah, like this. Like,
Maybe it's just implied that there's holes in the ceiling.
maybe. Maybe it is. Either way, they're going to be in open areas now. They probably won't be in game, though.
We'll find a different way.
Yeah, it'll be
It
fine.
was all for naught.
I'm going to mess with the lighting on these things real quick, too. Make sure they're actually being lit correctly.
You're always the one that was telling me that it doesn't have to make that much sense.
It doesn't. It's a game. Good point. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
But now that you say stuff about it, I'm going to want to change it.
Yeah, so I think it's blown out. So it should only really receive light from that yellow light and not from, like, Gray's light. So where's the platform at? That is just an edge glider. Oh, it's the actual, the actual graphic, actual sprite. Yeah, but the ground thing's a different thing, right? Yeah, that's just the charge station. No, charge station platform, there we go. So this one, you know what? I wonder if I should like this thing differently. Might just be able to tune down the color a little bit.
I'm just going to tune you out and watch X-Files and draw, so.
Don't watch X-Files, man.
Why not?
It's old.
It's great, though, apart from Scully being just the most absolutely ridiculous character ever.
How so?
In every episode, she sees the truth. She witnesses it. She gets picked up by ghosts and thrown across the wall, but she's like, but there's no proof, Mulder. It didn't happen. Like, at the end of every episode, it's like, oh my god. Just die, Scully. My god. It's aggravating. It's like, with all that on top of, you know, every other episode ending like, oh, here comes the government and they're men in black and stuff, and you can't come through here, and then the episode ends. The truth is out there, but you'll never get it.
Doctor Who says she is hot. Scully?
I did watch, I forget what the show is called.
Oh, is
There was a
something-
new show with Gillian Anderson in it. It was okay.
She's sexy in it?
She looks the same. I feel like she hasn't aged. Yeah. I don't know. It was like a murder mystery, like The Killing or something like that.
In The Killing? Oh, it was like The Killing. I thought you were saying she was in The Killing. I was like, nah, I'm pretty sure that wasn't her.
I don't know what it was called. Find out real quick, though.
It says, can you import a vector image to base your model of the terrain off of? So if you mean like the entire terrain, I mean you could actually create like big set pieces and stuff like that, and then like assign physics around them, because you could totally like just change the physics or whatever. What we decided to do instead was use this really cool tool that's kind of reminiscent of like what Rayman and stuff like that does, and that's this like terrain builder. So it's kind of based off of what edges you want to use. So this top layer right here will use long pieces and these corner caps. And then if it's a straight wall, it changes the texture of this. If it's underneath it, it does the stalactites. And it tries to randomize them as much as possible. Sometimes it's not the best at it, so you kind of got to play around with it a little bit. That's probably like one of the final things you do, like the level, is just make sure that these things look okay. Like one thing that Tyler doesn't like is this weird end cap section, because it looks like this is in front of like where the wall's coming up out of, which doesn't make any sense. So we're gonna overlay like another cap on those to make it look a little bit more realistic.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the actual textures. Let me see, what is that?
It's called The Fall.
called Cave something or other. That's not it. Yeah, so this gives you a better idea of like how we kind of put our terrain together. It's a really cool tool that was offered through the asset store where you can kind of select like what parts compose the top of the terrain, and the left side of the terrain is that piece. And then you just choose a fill too, so we made a fill item for it. Okay, so we're going to do charge station right there. What do you think, enemy or trap next?
Trap.
Trap.
It's trap.
Now that your light got filled up, I'll trick you.
And I'm all for it, just letting them walk right into it.
Just being like, surprise.
Yeah, enough
Look
health.
like yeah, I know, exactly.
They
So
can learn
it's-
for themselves. They don't need a sign saying, "Oh,
It's-
there's a trap."
It's the Mega Man thing.
Yeah. You can replay the level if you die. Don't do it again.
It's very generous of you.
Well, it's annoying. You're just treating people like they can't learn.
Yeah, there's a lot of hand holding in games anymore.
I'm not for that. I want Ghosts and Goblins.
Dark
You're gonna
Souls.
die 1,000 times, which we can't really do that, but not that extreme. But I don't want to sign for everything explaining stuff.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put in some directional signs. Like right down here, I'm gonna make a sign that says like up, just so that people get the idea like they have to go up here somehow. I know, you don't even like that, do you?
No.
Let them figure it out, man. The first thing I'm gonna do is mash all the buttons anyway, trying to figure it out, right?
Yeah. That's what I would do. But I mean, some people might just look through the non-existent booklet and get upset and then throw the controller through the TV.
It just happened.
That does happen.
Ugh, stupid light meter's not filling up either. Good times. Alright, cool. Okay, so we got trap set up, get the light generator set up, which is really going to tick me off because I think Unity 5 switched some of that too. Good times. Alright. Let's introduce some enemies too.
But I don't know, I think something like this would work a lot better. So you got like Freyr in the front, gutting an orc, you got Raylan, you got them shooting arrows past across. Fitkin in the back. A lot of characters. Shouldn't have done this many characters. And they started looking at like some
You
more
gotta do
comic.
more.
They started looking at more comic books and like
You gotta do Shovel Knight and stuff like that too.
Marvel
That would-
stuff just to see how well they place just like 1 billion characters in a panel.
You can look at the Avengers poster or whatever, right? Did you see that thing where they did like the real like hero of the Avengers poster? Because there's one of the Ultron robots like in the background. And he's in every single poster.
Oh really?
Yeah, they like overlaid all of them. They just cut them out and use them in each one.
Huh.
Gotta save time, man. I know
I
some
mean, it
kid.
makes sense. You gotta save time and, you know,
They all look the
people
same.
save money too. It's like, we could pay him to paint one robot and then use them for everything.
Yeah.
So here's a new poster, just the robot. Okay, X-Files.
Multiplayer aspects of the game. That is a good question. We have tested it a little bit. I don't have like a bunch of controllers to test with, unfortunately. And that bat just went right through the floor, which is not what he's supposed to do. And that bat's flying.
Bye, bat.
He's getting the hell out of here. Oh wait, there he goes. Oh shit. No, he's gone. He's dead. He's coming back. Oh, no,
oh,
shit.
you
No,
hit your
I missed him.
chance.
Alright, so I need to look at those bats. But yeah, we have tested some of the multiplayer stuff. So I set up a demo previously with just like a couple of. Oh, wait a second. Okay, they got a bat target in there. So they're aiming to the left. That's good. But yeah, we set up two different controls, like one for keyboard and one for a controller. And it works fine. Like, basically I've been programming it with that in mind the whole time, like of just having different like players. So right now I have like a UI object, but this UI object can be applied to any player. Like right now it's going to be put on the player 1 cam. And then these camera packages right here, like each player will get a camera package. And the camera package has the perspective, the foreground, and a main camera in it. So it just kind of renders everything out for that specific user. And then what's awesome is that you can adjust like the size of the camera based on what player it is. So if it's player 1 and there's 2 players, like you could run some logic to be like, oh, okay, you're going to take up half the screen and split it down the middle, or half the screen and split it top to bottom. And then there's 4 players, you just run the same kind of logic, really. But yeah, I've set up one with like 2 cameras and stuff like that before. Actually, I think this is the old player 2 camera. But this one actually needs to go. It's kind of crappy and old. I'm trying to make sure my bats don't fall to the ground this time. So, oh, still did, so I'm going to look at that. Yeah, the layer mask isn't working. Good times. So I need that. Killbox, Matt's wheel. Strip on the ground. Are you really gonna sit there and watch X-Files?
I love all the cameos though.
I don't even,
Like the other night, I
didn't
watched
tell you.
one that had Bruce Campbell in it, and then who was the other person? Bryan Cranston.
Bryan Cranston was in it?
Yeah.
What was he doing in there?
He had a thing in his ear, some crazy low frequency thing that messed with his ear, and like the pressure kept on building and building inside his head unless he wasn't like driving west really fast, otherwise his head was gonna blow up. Yeah. X-Files.
That's fun.
Yep. But the cameos are fun.
See, explosion. Game object at tag. Okay. So it must not be tagged as ground, I guess.
It's not like I can't
Yeah,
listen
so,
to you and talk while watching this.
except when you're talking over me.
How am I talking over you?
You just were, like 2 seconds ago.
I'm not gonna talk over you.
It's too-
Nothing's even playing yet. I just have headphones
It's
in
too
my
late,
ears.
you did it.
I don't know what you're talking about. You're full of crap.
You did it already.
I didn't. It's not like I had anything important to say anyway.
I had something extremely important to say.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking about tags.
Again, not important.
Someone was listening to a conversation at X-Files and asked if that's the one where he has to go west.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Yep.
You win! Tell him what he's won! X-Files Trivia Night. There we go. I know the bats explode and their bones roll around exactly like they're supposed to. Good shit. Alright. Couple bats. Must be fun to add. All these different areas too. think I am almost going to make kind of a hidden area too, though.
Are you talking to me?
No, this is what I was afraid of. What?
Just nudge me on the shoulder.
Alright.
Or don't talk to yourself. That.
I have to talk to myself. There's no one else to talk to. I'm going to narrate something.
I just do everything for everybody.
Yeah, believe it or not, I think most people who code anyway like tend to talk to themselves while they're sitting there doing stuff. I talk to myself at the office all the time. You don't talk to yourself when you draw?
No, I usually just make stupid faces.
Oh yeah, you do a little bit. The ability with your terrain to walk through a wall into a hidden area. We don't
Just do an
specifically have
overlay.
that. What's that?
Just be doing an overlay.
Well, yeah, I'm saying like we'd probably like create a piece. It's like a fake wall. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it would just fade.
Yeah, we're just using like pretty much a bunch of repeatable textures and stuff like that. So if we were going to build something, we could just, you know, make it so that it just kind of fades. But that would give you a little bit more control over it too. And actually, you know what? I guess you can do it a little bit because you can create terrain and then just not have it be like physically like enabled. And then you kind of lay that over top of another piece that actually has physics on it. But there's a few different ways to do that. Good question. But I do love this tool. It is my new favorite tool for creating terrain. I wish I had had it for a previous game. Would have been nice. Because you can also do some fun stuff, like just to kind of illustrate. Like right now it's all spiky, but I can take the same piece and I can make it so it actually does like smooth corners or something like that too, or sharp corners. Maybe not. May have spoken too soon. Oh wait, there's a smooth path. Yeah. So you can do this cool smooth path option, and that kind of like makes everything like nice hills and valleys and stuff like that that we might use for like a lot of the desert levels and stuff like that we're gonna have. We'll have like rolling like sand dunes and stuff. So this would be more applicable for that. But for the cave level, at least we're gonna keep everything pretty sharp. But you can see right here, I can actually get rid of the collider and stuff like that too. So if I turned off the collider, you'd just fall straight through this. I think I'm going to leave this open for like another hidden area down here. So I'm going to have a bridge and then I'll have a drop off and then it'll kind of lead to like a little opening down here, I think.
Nice to do like little inlets. Like if you want to hide something up here, you could have it cut in a little bit underneath.
Yeah, I mean that's what I was thinking, maybe for like a treasure chest up there, but then have like, you know, I was thinking about like hiding like the drill and stuff like that. Like the drill in like an underground area, like down in here.
Yeah, that's fine.
And then you could have like the cave area still be like, oh my gosh, how does that? Okay, like up in here, and then have like the waterfall like right before you get to like the alpha or whatever, or close to the alpha.
Yeah.
So I should bring that guy here in a second. I'm close enough to actually click and drag these. There we go. Yeah, exactly. Realis 123, that's exactly how we would do it. The name of the tool is called Ferr 2D, but it's Ferr 2D. So it's like this right here. So I got Ferr, and then it's 2D. It was a pretty cheap tool. I don't think it's... I'm trying to remember how much it costs. I think like maybe like 15 bucks or something. 15, 20 bucks. But it saves an insane amount of time when making like a 2D game. Jeez, can you turn that thing down? Turn it down, dude.
Oh my god.
Or put it on vibrate or something.
What the hell am I supposed to hear on my phone?
Just put it on vibrate, Jesus. There's zombies yelling in my ear. That's hilarious. It's freaking loud, man.
You complain like an old woman.
I don't play like an old woman. Darn kids in your music is what it is, man.
There.
Thank you. Oh, son of a... Oh my god. Oh my god. Reliving the hell of like the pen tool in Photoshop all over again.
What?
This fucking
More like
thing.
the hell of a pen tool in Illustrator.
In Illustrator, alright, yeah. I agree with you there. Yeah, you can do one-way platforms. I'm pretty sure with this tool too you can. One-way... There's a way to. I haven't used a whole lot of one-way platforms, but you totally can. A lot of times you'd use like edge colliders and stuff like that to accomplish that. And again, I mean, even if you couldn't do it with like the Fur 2D tool, you could always draw out your platform and then add an edge collider and whatever script you're using to make it into a one-way platform. And we've talked about doing that because we want to have like maybe like a combat mode or like a fight mode or something like that. Oh, no problem, man. I don't mind showing people. That's kind of what like this is for anyway. Like, I'm gonna get most of my work done like off of Twitch, but actually sometimes I get most of my work done on Twitch. But yeah, I mean that's why we're here, is like to answer any questions or anything like that about the game or development. It's all for like learning, like in community. Like I don't care if I get interrupted or anything. Bring this guy down so it doesn't look like... Good lord, what's happening there? Come on. Ugh, so ugly.
What did you do?
Trying to fix that freaking chunk right there.
Is that why we decided not to do little inlets? Yeah, that's better.
Just like it's like squishing out the stalactites, so it looks really ugly.
Yeah.
There we go. I'll put a treasure chest up there. If you can get to it. It's kind of important to test the terrain and stuff first before you go like placing a bunch of items and stuff everywhere, because then if you make a mistake, then you have to change all the items and all of that instead of just, you know, instead of just fixing the terrain in the first place. So let me make sure this doesn't look really crazy real quick. A can of worms has been opened. Still run up that? Okay, cool. One thing I did end up doing with Unity at least is like fighting with the physics a lot. Because previously like Gray would like slide down hills and slide up hills and all kinds of stuff. So I actually have a script that determines like when he stops and if he's on a slope, and if he's on a slope then to keep him from like sliding. Because I found that to be incredibly annoying. Let me get down here real quick and make sure I can get up this wall. There's no way I can see up there. Okay. Get here. Oh, that's a tiny hole. Okay. Yeah, so that could stand to be substantially bigger right there. I can get under the bridge. Yeah, that's how tiny that spot ended up being. Is that how small you want it?
I think it's fine.
I guess it's, I don't know. It makes it more hidden, I suppose.
I mean, it seems like you can get in there okay.
Yeah, I mean, you get in there just fine. Let's put the treasure chest in here.
Sure.
It's a tiny little Easter egg area, sure. Okay, so a couple things we're gonna do there. Where'd the treasure chest go? There you are. I think... no. Where the hell did it go? Ugh, good times. Alright, so... cinema trigger, that's not what I need. Well, you know what, if I can't find it, it's not that big of a deal. But it's just gonna bug me that it just disappeared on me. Let me save this real quick. Yeah, have you actually like confirmed that it has all the bells and whistles and stuff like that? Because I know it's supposed to, but I haven't. Like, this is the most I've had to play with it since I came in here. Did that treasure chest just appear, or am I losing my damn mind? I could have swore I was not there 2 seconds ago. Alright, maybe I'm losing it. I had to play around with it a whole lot, but I did have the Unity Pro like trial and stuff like that when I originally downloaded Unity. And I messed around with a lot of cameras and like vignettes and stuff like that that were really, really cool, for especially for pulling off lighting effects. And of course shadows are going to play like a huge role in the game, so it's just really cool that they decided to give that to everybody. I want to make sure like you can't get behind that chest. Right there-ish. Oh, that's gonna work exactly. Let's grab our player here real quick. Yeah, so stuff like bloom effects, okay, and lens flare. Yeah, we've talked about adding lens flares and stuff like that too. And soft shadows, very important. Yeah, right now we have like basic lighting set up, but we don't have like shadows or anything like that involved, so it'll look even prettier hopefully by the time we add all that stuff in. Yeah, so nice little loot corner there. Okay, yeah, that looks pretty good.
You have to put that end cap in there too sometime.
Yeah.
We're all Dan.
Yeah, I'll put them in there. Alright, so we're going to make this area kind of like considerably harder to get to since there's going to be stuff in there too. So we'll probably put an ogre down here and like maybe a couple goblins or something like that. Make it dangerous. Let's see. I'm actually going to put a goblin up here like by the bridge too, I think. Probably goblin, and then you'll have like the slope. And then you'll have the option to actually go down here, which I'll actually add a sign and stuff like that eventually too that shows you can go down. And then I'm going to put this big kind of like drill item over here. And what I'm going to show you guys here in just a second is going to be really helpful if you're doing like 2D platforms with parallaxing, especially if you're using like the 3D environment to do it. So give me just a second here, I'll show you kind of what I mean by that. So we have the background. Where's the background that I disabled? I think it's background 3. Yeah, okay. So inside of background 3, I have this laser drill item that I'm going to bring over here. And kind of typically what used to be the pain is like you try to line up your objects here, but then you never really know what they're going to look like when you parallax until you get into it. And that's something I definitely want to avoid. So what I did is I created this camera object that actually contains all of my cameras and will show exactly how they're supposed to look wherever the camera's at. So if I take this camera object and I bring it over here to where my scene's at, it should show me like accurate parallaxing. There we go. Yeah, so there's where the ground's going to be when you're walking along. So that's actually pretty dang close.
Mm-hmm. Looks pretty good.
And then you can, of course, test it right there too. There we go. Yeah, so it looks pretty cool. And that way if you jump too, it's not going to throw anything too crazy off. You can't see corners or edges or anything like that. Yeah, like that. And then it should be gone from view by the time you make it all the way back up to the top. Yeah, it'll be hidden by the ground, looks like. I'm just going to confirm that real quick too. Well, it looks like it was hidden right there, so that should be fine. The one thing I will check, I'll move gray up here and make sure that you can't see the top of the drill through there. Okay, cool. Actually, we're just using, it's strictly 2D, so we're using all the 2D physics stuff. We aren't using anything 3D right now. And actually, the models aren't 3D or anything like that, too. We're using an animation tool called Spine to do all of our 3D, or all of our two-dimensional animations. And what that kind of lets you get away with is, like, it gives you a lot smoother animations. You don't need any sprite sheets. It basically just gets broken apart into a material that you can use. I can show you that real quick too. So basically what you end up with is the skeleton. So like our sprite sheet just looks like this. So you just have all the pieces of gray. Yeah, and then you can actually preview all the animations and stuff like that down here too. You can see what it's going to look like ahead of time. And you can add events and all that kind of stuff to the animations too. Oh, okay, you know Spine. No, chess isn't 3D. So far, everything's been done in Spine or Photoshop. Okay, so the one thing that goes with this like engine thing back here are these little cables. So I'm going to go ahead and toss those in before I forget about those too. They're pretty easy to spot because they have these red lights on them. And I'll just duplicate this one. But yeah, thanks. Put a lot of work into making it look really pretty. I know.
Excuse me.
It's been pretty popular lately to do, I don't know, like 2D games and make them like 16-bit and stuff like that, but I know at least for Tyler and I, like we always used to be excited when you get like the game box and like you saw the game art and you're like, oh man, this is gonna be freaking sweet. This game's gonna look like this. And then you pop it into like your SNES or NES and you know it's 8-bit or 16-bit and it's just bleh. So we're trying to make it like HD, super smooth and really pretty. Like try to make the art as close as we can to the concept artwork. None of these look like they're floating. That one's fine. Fine. Yeah, that's good. Cool, cool. And right now the enemy AI is like pretty simple. Mostly because we're waiting for like the Kickstarter and stuff like that. If Kickstarter's successful, if the game is popular enough that people want more, then I already purchased actually a behavior tree that I'm planning on using to make the enemy AI like a lot smarter. Because typically in 2D games you end up with just like patrols and stuff like that. You don't have really smart enemy AI. And that always kind of bugged me. So I want enemies that will actually like actively pursue you or change tactics based on like whether they're hurt or how hurt you are and all that kind of stuff. Call in reinforcements, all that good stuff. So right now he's just basically on a patrol, so I have this goblin target right here that I could tell him like how far to go. So he's just gonna be patrolling the area past the bridge right there. And these guys will have shorter patrols right here. I'll put a couple of them down here. Actually, I think I'll put them on either side of an ogre. It's funny, you can see how many lights were actually used for like the original demo. It's all over the freaking place.
That's disgusting.
We won't have near as many on the actual like pre-alpha, I don't think.
Yeah, you don't need that many.
Yeah, before it was like every other step you lit up something. So let's test those guys. Whoa. And right there in my face. There we go. Oh, he spit out a health item too. This is one of the things I need to fix right there too, is you can see like the chicken is like sitting on top of that physics item right there. So I can show you how to fix that. It's really, really easy. There you go.
You just put it on a separate layer or what?
You just have to modify the physics so that it knows not to collide with like the bone layer, essentially. Vanillaware. Vanillaware sounds extremely familiar, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. What's Vanillaware do?
Makes cookies or something.
Yeah, it's definitely it. Oh, they did Dragon's Crown.
Yeah.
Right? And Dragon's Crown? Oh, maybe not. No, that's something different.
I feel like we looked at that before.
No, it is Dragon's Crown. They've done other games though too. I didn't know that.
Yeah, because what the hell was the other one called?
Yeah, Dragon's Crown is actually a little bit of an inspiration, but I forgot that it was Vanillaware that did it, obviously.
Sphere.
Odin Sphere?
Yeah, that was the one I was thinking of.
Okay. But yeah, Vanillaware.
This one.
I played all the way through Dragon's Crown like 3 times. Oh, I might have to try and get that then. Yeah, their games are freaking beautiful. I think they spent... I read a lot about Dragon's Crown. I thought they spent like $11 million or something like that to produce it. It's just so much freaking money. Grim Grimoire, okay. Yeah, they're fantastic. Yeah, Dragon's Crown I enjoyed a lot and actually kind of inspired us a little bit on this one. We tried to reel in our female characters a little bit though.
Yeah. They got some ridiculous chesticles going on in these games.
That witch, man.
Yeah, and I also like to try to avoid the whole somehow
women just have these cat spines where they can show their chests and butts in the same pose.
All right.
I try to avoid that, where it's like, and they're broken. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Rails, thanks a lot for the follow. Appreciate that. Okay, so let's see. So I have bones right here, so we want those to collide with basically just the bones in the ground. So I need to collide with that, I need to collide with that, I need to collide with that. Or that. Or that. It's a very confusing grid, actually. There we go. Okay, I was freaking out for a second because I could have spread stuff up here. Okay. Bones, there we go. Okay, so I want the bones to collide with the ground. Yeah, actually, you know what, that's fine. As long as they just collide with ground. Okay, so let's try that again real quick. Oh, it's gonna be a tiny play area. Okay. Kill that guy. Any food? Okay, so it doesn't look like the food like really collided or anything like that with the bones. It's more obvious with this guy if he actually leaves food when he dies. Okay, good. Yeah, you can see there wasn't a collision. There's still like food in there, with little health pluses and stuff sticking out. Cool. Okay. So that's fixed. Let's see this thing real quick. I'm actually going to pull on another background piece too and kind of set it out in this area. And that is going to be this this cavern. Yeah, this guy right here. This cave backdrop. There we go. Yeah, because I want it to be mid-ground. I was about to make me lose my mind right there. Those backgrounds were like clipping through that layer. Definitely not supposed to do that. Okay, so I'm going to grab my cameras one more time. Make sure that looks okay up there. I actually want that probably a little bit higher, maybe. Yeah, actually it should be okay. Yeah, that'll look really nice. Cool. I don't know why I didn't do that a long time ago. I can actually see him from anywhere. Yeah, it's nice. I might do that to a bunch of characters and enemies and stuff like that, just so you could identify them from a distance. Yeah, Spine, they have a little bit more of like advanced tooling and stuff like that, because you can like stretch meshes and stuff like that. I'm not sure really with the Unity animation tools. I've used them a little bit, but you can do a bunch of meshes and stuff like that in Unity and Spine, and I think you could do that now in Unity. I might actually switch over, not to like reanimating everything in Unity, but a guy who works a lot with Spine created a thing that will actually import your Spine animations. Make sure the thing is not still sliding. But it'll import your Spine animations, and you could have them. Getting distracted again. But you can have them import into Mechanim. And then when you import them into Mechanim, you can do a lot of really cool stuff, because you could have like transitions to different animations based on stuff that is happening in the game. So that ends up being really cool, and it gives you a lot of flexibility. Especially, like I said, because I want to use like behavior trees and stuff like that here pretty shortly. And we're using a behavior tree, being able to like connect into Mechanim and stuff like that's easier than writing your own script. Right now I have this gigantic script that is the controller for like Sir Gray, because he's pretty advanced for like a 2D character. Because he's got all these like wall slides that are just kind of built in, so there's no need to like hold against the wall. It's just if you aren't grounded and you're against a wall, then he naturally goes into that state. And then for every animation you kind of got to blend. So he has like these different attacks, and he actually does a 3-hit combo if you time the combos right. And then if you press and hold, he'll do a charge attack, and he runs and walks and jumps and falls and all kinds of different stuff. I can't even attempt that name. I'll call you Verind. But yes, I actually just got Unity 5. This is my first time playing around with it. But one of the things that kind of screwed with me a little bit was my layer names. Like, it really screwed my layer names. So just like a real quick example, not layer names, but layer IDs. It's like my sorting layers. I believe Unity typically names them like 1 through however many you have. But for whatever reason, the new sorting layer ID for my mid-ground layer is like some crazy long number. That threw off a bunch of like my layering and stuff that I had going on for my 2D game. But other than that, it seems pretty cool so far. It imported everything else, and everything else works fine. Like even I was a little bit nervous like switching to it. No, I don't have Unity Pro. I just have the regular one. So a lot of the Unity Pro features I really wanted are in there now, like the lighting and shadows and stuff like that. So especially with like a game like ours that like heavily relies on lighting. Like I'm really excited to play around with that stuff to make this thing look even prettier. Okay, so we've got that area set up. I kind of want to continue this area right here and almost make it come out like the other end of this thing. I think the best way to do that, I might actually set up the waterfall so that you come up here. If you take this top path, you kind of end up at the waterfall down here. Otherwise, you'd come out at like the bottom of it. Yeah, that might work. And that way I could even make it so that if you fall down here, there's no way back up. You just kind of have to go back this way. Okay. And just to mess with people a little bit more, I'm going to go ahead and toss another trap over there. I don't think I ever have used movie textures. So you're talking about like actual animated textures? Can I actually pull this panel out? Always wondered. Yes, I'm gonna have to do stuff from now on. I actually have like a dual monitor setup, which would actually be really nice to be able to like use some of these tabs on their own, especially the editor tab when you're creating levels. Makes everything so much easier when you don't have all this kind of junk lying around. Get rid of some of these points real quick. Oh, that's interesting. So it lets you play an actual video on a planar cube. I'm trying to think. I mean, there might actually be a pretty good use for that for some of the stuff we're doing. Especially some of these background objects, like just being able to have some kind of like background video playing on a planar cube. I wonder how much more efficient that is than doing like a, well, it's probably a lot more efficient than doing like a sprite animation or something like that for it, I imagine. So once again, I'm going to bring my my player over there and make sure he can actually clear that gap. Oh, awesome. You have to check out all the previously like pro features to make sure I can use them and everything. Yeah, see, that down there is something I didn't want. I don't want to be able to see that object from down there. So up here is fine, but then you get down there and you can kind of see it. Yeah, I'm gonna freaking wreck myself in the spike trap. Once again, that's the reason you kind of don't stick objects everywhere before you do stuff like that. There we go, bring this back up. Bring this up here. Come on, Unity. There we go. Yeah, definitely, Rails. Go ahead and shoot the link out there. So the script to make ground objects, I'm actually using a tool from the asset store that we wanted, because we kind of wanted like a Rayman Legends kind of feel, like how they do their terrain editor. Yeah. Yeah, it's called Ferr2D, Ferr 2D. Yeah, we'll check that out here in just a minute, Rails, after the stream. Make that go down considerably, probably. Make sure that works correctly now. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll check it out. So you jump across this. So you still see a hint of it down there, or actually might entice you to go down there. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And the goblins will show up and try to wreck you. Okay. So now probably for the trickiest part in the level is to get this waterfall to line up correctly the way I want it. So I'm probably going to stretch it out and bring it out here into this open space. Just kind of widen out this area down here too. What do you think the best way to do that? Yeah, this is already a much simpler level layout than I had before. It's a lot more linear. Like, you can go back for Easter eggs if you want to, but kind of keep things moving, I think, a little bit better. Alright, so I'm going to come along here at the bottom of the waterfall. So the bottom is not really going to change, it's going to stay pretty straight, but I can bring down the top. I think that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, to kind of give you an idea of more of the details, because I don't know how dark your guys' screens are, you can actually knock out the lights so that we can actually see stuff a little bit better. I can maximize it real quick here too. Yeah, so you can see the ground textures and stuff like that, spike traps. And that's going to be one of the things too, is you actually have a light meter that's going to slowly drain away. And when that light meter hits 0, it's going to be a lot harder to see and a lot harder to identify those traps. And there will be a lot of these little crystals, like there's crystals in these bridges right here. But there'll be crystals along the paths and stuff like that too, to kind of lead you along the way, or revisit areas that you've already come to. So you can see the light area is kind of shrinking around them, and that little blue meter is going down. And with Unity 5, for some reason, my light meter doesn't go all the way up like it used to, so I'll have to fix that. But yeah, my wall slide's actually the favorite right now too. I'm going to add a little bit of a rock particle when he first digs his sword into the side. But yeah, it's a lot of fun because it's a different color than that blue. There's lots and lots of contrast. A lot of fun. We also added a bunch of lights for the sword slashes, so when you run out of light, you can still kind of slash around. And then of course his sword like slam thing that he does too. Which is pretty cool. Yeah, so there's like a big Easter egg, like lit up item, this big dinosaur guy. And then he also slams in the ground when he falls from like really high up. So if I fall from high up but I don't touch any walls, go boom, smash into the ground a little bit. We figured the light crystals might be really cool because then when you're playing with like multiple people and somebody gets lost, you could follow like the lit like crystals where they went to try and find them, which would be really fun. We're planning on doing like a split screen multiplayer versus like all on one screen. When you're all on one screen, it kind of ticks you off when you can't go explore like where you want to go and stuff like that. There'll be some areas where you all have to be together to go, but I'd really like to set up split screen style. Okay. Let's set up this waterfall here real quick. Yeah, thanks man, I really appreciate it. Been working on it a while. Basically, we're just going to set up this level right here. We're going to capture some game footage. I have some other like terrain stuff that we're going to set up. Like I have, where's it at? So like here's a jungle. Give you an idea of like the different kind of terrain and stuff like that we're going to have. Like there's some like elven ruins and stuff. It's basic rocks, trees, so just for different areas. And then I have the desert ones too. Be like gigantic like dinosaur ribs and stuff you can walk through. Lots of sand dunes. And you'll have like different color like themes and stuff like that for those. So like the forest, I think we're going to go with more like green, and then for the desert we're going to go with like a, I think like a reddish color. But instead of crystals that light up, it'll light up like these flowers. And then in the jungle you'll be lighting up these mushrooms this green color. So you have to set up staging areas for those too to capture some footage and stuff like that from those areas. Let me grab the waterfall item here. So the waterfall actually isn't on that background layer, it's on a different background layer. There it is. Got about like 20 minutes left on the stream, so if you guys want to see anything in particular, feel free to give a shout and I'll see what I can do there. Okay, so I need this terrain area to kind of come down into where his hands are going to be at, which they'll be up here somewhere. Yeah, up here in like these holes. That's the best way to do that.
What?
Might have to shrink the waterfall a little bit.
Okay.
Because we need to be able to like jump across his hands, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do that other way.
Yeah, I think the hands were way too big in the last one anyway.
Yeah?
Yeah. Plus, when you go into pillars and do that type stuff, I made that stackable one.
Oh, right, yeah. Well, I'm not using the same pillars.
What?
I'm just thinking, I don't want to put it on the background, but I need to make
the waterfall smaller.
Yeah, let me see what it would look like with the actual camera first, because it always is going to, like this is a 2D perspective, so it's going to throw it off a little bit.
You're a 2D perspective.
Okay. So it looks like the hands.
Didn't that?
I don't know. I don't know what to do, man.
Looks pretty good. So you're just gonna make all of that smaller?
Yeah, I can. Just scale down the hands and the waterfall at the same time.
Yeah. Right? Didn't you
Yeah.
want to make everything smaller?
I suppose. Waterfall. It's already scaled up to 6. Oh god, I'm not gonna think of. Okay, whatever. I'm just gonna go for it.
Doesn't look bad either. Depending on how it parallaxes, though. Probably
Yeah,
parallax
so
all
like-
weird. Yeah, that's not gonna work.
Whoa. Alright, hands.
Eat some coffee, man.
What?
What? It's cold.
It's only 9:30. Oh yeah, it is cold though.
I need something warm.
You get out of this basement.
Well, I have no choice. My computer's down here.
I can't even tell. Okay, so that did make them smaller, obviously, but oh, it's only on x-axis too. Derp. Yeah, it might not be bad. I actually scaled the box colliders too. It did. Look at that. You see how weird it looks like when it's not like in the camera's perspective. Like when it's
Oh,
not.
he has baby hands.
Yeah, I know, but that's because it's not in the camera's perspective. Because like the camera right here is in 2D, so it's not like pushing it back the way it should.
Right.
So like that's why it's so important to have that camera object, because then you can actually see what the hell it's gonna look like.
I get that.
I could actually do something like that. Move this one a little bit too. Whoa! It's in a hurry. I still don't think you're gonna be able to get that gap across. Unless there was like a stackable pillar in between for some reason. Direction. No.
Maybe we should just have him stick his tongue out.
Yeah,
You
it'd be
have to
like
jump
a
on it
moving
when
platform.
when it comes out. Yeah. Well, that's probably just gonna end up being placeholder anyway, because I think we're gonna end up doing something a little bit more crazy with that.
Let me bring Gray down real quick to see what it looks like. Dang it. Who? Almost.
Well, you could probably make that.
I don't think you could.
I think you could.
Think I could really make that jump? No
I don't know.
freaking way.
This thing
No
has
way.
some nasty aliasing going on that sucker.
Yeah, it does,
Where the
doesn't
heck
it?
did that come from?
Yeah, I mean, look at the sprite for it. It's gonna catch me if I fall. Ugh. Nope.
Where's the physics thing in there?
Oh, there is a
say.
physics thing.
I was gonna say, it looks like you could probably catch, but you don't even. Oh, that's weird. It's like,
Like stabbing to the
it's
side
like
of it.
green. It's that light.
Maybe. But I didn't even bother putting a physics object in there because you never reach
Well,
it.
You never. You don't see it when you're moving it. You see the one in that one, but
That's
not that
hilarious. Alright, fine. Oh, I can't just copy the components out of there. Yeah, whatever. Oh, I hate when I do that. Add a collider. I could make one hand just a little bit lower too, probably help. platform a little bit thinner. This is an example of when you might want to edge glider too, so that way it doesn't try to do the wall slide on it. About 15 minutes left. Oh, jeez. Oh my gosh, he almost makes it. Oh, he does make it.
Ha!
You can, like, just get it if you time it perfect. Oh, son of a...
You could probably move them slightly more together, maybe then.
Nah, let's just make it really hard.
That's fine, man.
I know it's fine with you. You're
Yeah, go ahead. Say something mean.
a sadist.
I'll take it.
There we go. Much better. Let me see why those are so blown out then. Yeah, 'cause it's right there along the edge. I wonder if it's the shader I have on it. So I have, no, it's just a few sprites, but I wonder... I have 1024 true color on there.
What?
I have true color and stuff on here. Folder mode. Is it something on the actual hand? Hope I can't tell with a background like that. I'm not sure why it has that aliasing on it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter right now. Just get it to work, and then I can always look at it in Photoshop and tweak it if need be.
Okay. Because it's so hard to get to, I'm going to toss a treasure chest up there too.
What, on the other side?
Yeah, on the hand. Or I could make a platform where you can get it.
Yeah.
You don't want it on the actual hand.
Yeah.
The waterfall is animated just with a sprite sheet, actually. Traditional sprite sheet animation for that one. But, yeah, doing a movie object or something like that might actually be better for that in the future.
You can embed movies and stuff in the back?
Yeah, you can put them on a plane or a cube. I guess it was a pro-only feature, but now you can do it on this thing.
Nice.
Pretty sweet. Okay, so I should be able to just use one more object, I think. Oh, dang it, freaking duplicated it instead. No, I don't want it. So this one's going to lead all the way back in here. Oops. sure I can actually get up there. Yeah, we don't stream too often, mostly just because of, time. I have a day job and stuff like that right now too. Makes it kind of tricky. I might stream a little bit more when it comes to like these level things, so if you follow us or whatever, you'll get notifications when we go live too if you want. There we go. So that's kind of where I want. I can actually get all the way back up here. Okay. If I jump down here, boom. Alright, cool. The steam not rising up the way it should. It's not, is it? Have to look into that too. What if I didn't drag over the sprite renderer or something? Or the particle? Yeah, there it is right there. It's just not being rendered. There it is right here. So it's on the unknown layer. It doesn't help. This needs to be on this background layer. Oh, that's gonna be annoying. Alright, which one is it? Ugh. It's not doing me any favors here. Yeah, because this one's on background. Oh, it's on background _1. That'd be why. There we go. There we go. We got some smoke rising up again. But yeah, see my sorting layer IDs are all screwed up, so it's like a negative 200 million something. It's freaking weird. So hopefully somebody's identified that bug already. Okay, so if I fell in that pit, I can't get back up. Cool. And then you come across the waterfall on the bottom if you went that way. Pretty cool. And then you'll wind up at the Alpha Ogre eventually back here. Yeah, like when I imported the Unity 5, it just butchered all of my like layers and stuff that I had. Which isn't that big a deal. I mean, it doesn't take that long to fix. It's just annoying when like stuff starts happening like that. I decided not to dedicate my live stream to doing that tonight. I'll do that when I don't want to bore people to death. Okay, so then we're going to end off the level with the Alpha Ogre. Let me find him wherever the heck I put him at. You know what? He's invisible, so that probably isn't going to be very easy to find him. Alpha Ogre, there we go. Seems to be right there. That's pretty good. It's the Alpha Ogre template. And I also need the Cinema Trigger. The Cinema Trigger is just a big, like, invisible trigger that they'll hit to activate the cinema at the end. probably right there-ish, maybe. Again, this is something you have to play and test a little bit. Okay, so walk along, walk along. Oh, you can still see him. Whoa. Interesting. Oh, that's the title screen.
Whoa. The fire's all crazy now, too, and that.
Oh, yeah, it's all offset. Good stuff. Okay. Cinema Trigger, let me find that guy. Alpha over the camera target. There we go. That's what we screwed up right there. This camera target's in a gigantic black void. Instead, it needs to be over here. The cinema trigger needs to be moved back a little bit so the gray can't see it like initially. Well, you know what? I don't think it does. I think it is supposed to be somewhere on there. Yeah, Spine does make that crazy mesh on the sprite, so it makes it kind of tricky when you're trying to actually see where they're positioned at and stuff like that. Closer. Closer. I will get it eventually. Alright, cinema trigger closer. And then this guy is actually going to be invisible initially. There we go. Okay, so the end part's set up correctly. It's funny just because everything's freaking invisible though. What was I going to adjust on that? It's actually fine with the exception of that Alpha Ogre. Let me see, because he has a weird transition right there. So one thing that Spine will do is they'll add in like these mixes. And when you're switching heads and stuff like that, it can look really weird because it actually just like pops. Like instead of just switching the head real quick, it'll kind of like transition it, so it looks really weird. I'm just gonna make that 0 instead. Cool. Alright, so there's that portion, and then one of the last things I want to do is actually make a little hidden area up here, like an alcove, so you can kind of get another treasure chest. It's kind of nice to do the level layout, because we'll have pretty much the level done, and then go back and add just like a ton of flare and stuff like that. ceiling a little bit more interesting. Oh, polygon meshes. Yeah, you know what, maybe. And again, I mean, I might play around with Mechanim a little bit more now that Spine has like a feature for it. Yeah, it's fun. Cool. You're running along for a long time down there before you actually reach the ogre. Okay, cool. Before it cuts out. One thing I really don't like is this corner right here. That's a lot better. Okay. Alright, so I think that's it for tonight, guys. If you follow us, then you'll be updated every time that we go live. And then we also have like Facebook and stuff like that if you guys want to follow along. We post a lot of stuff on Facebook. Like anytime Tyler does a new art piece, it ends up on there. He's working on one right now, which is really freaking sweet. It'll probably be his live stream on Thursday. But yeah, any questions or anything, feel free to shoot them over to us at contact@FeverMain. And Rails, I'm going to check out that link you sent me to here in just a second. Yeah, there it is. Cool. Thanks a lot for tuning in, guys, and we'll see you Thursday on Tyler's stream. Have a good night.